We are Nerd Cult Online, and this is Aster Blade of the Monolith from TinyBuild and C2 Game Studio. So you play this game as the character Astor, which is basically some weird kind of plant-looking monk type looking character. Not sure exactly what species they are, but they've definitely got the cute vibe going on. The game itself is a three-dimensional puzzle platformer that definitely has you working on attack combos while also navigating various terrain using different abilities at different times, while also using those abilities to solve puzzles. And the main area that you are in is very reminiscent of like a tomb or an abandoned temple, something like that you've discovered, and you're trying to basically explore and find out what it's all about, and at the same time also survive. And so, throughout the stages there are multiple enemies. You do get a lengthy tutorial on how to fight. Now, because of the rigidity of the tutorial itself, it's actually quite easy to die during this early stage. And specifically because you don't have all of your main attack abilities available from the start. And so it definitely makes it a little bit more difficult as far as countering and dodging different attacks. So you need to watch for the telegraphed movements and make sure that you're not in the way of their weapon as they're about to strike you. But the mechanics themselves, they do work quite fluidly once you have them all available to you. Like I said, the early stages or the early parts, without having everything unlocked, it does make it a bit more difficult, and almost to the point that it kind of feels a little sticky as far as the controllers go. But the world itself is definitely very vibrant. I really like their use of colors and light, especially. Like with that waterfall, like there's a lot of light coming from it, almost like as if it was its own light source. And that way you can keep the focus on the action and still have a great looking area around it. So that way it's not all just puzzles and combat. There's definitely some beauty to take in along the way. Now, this is probably one of the only games that I've ever played where I've actually died during the tutorial. And, I mean, that's saying something for the combat there. And honestly, not something very good either, just because of the fact that, you don't have the ability to dodge for each part. You have to earn that ability, and once you have that ability, then you can start using it, and so it becomes a little bit more difficult. Now, what I think they should have done with the tutorial instead, because each ability or each thing that you're unlocking, you get a new enemy to fight. Now, I think what they should have done is done like a checklist system where as soon as you complete one, the other one's available, but you can do them all against the same enemy, which makes it a lot easier to basically get in there, kill the enemy, and finish the tutorial. Where right there, you can see that's where I died. And mostly it was because of my own arrogance, because I figured you're not going to die in a tutorial. There's going to be some forgiveness there. There is not. And I was quite impressed by that fact. So, when the game gets deadly, it gets deadly. So you definitely have to make sure that you are being aware of not just what your life or your health bar is at, but the enemies, their attacks and stuff. So that way, you don't find yourself in a position where you're on the last round of the tutorial like I was, and then you're one hit from death, and then you get hit. So definitely be a little bit more careful with those things. Kind of pay attention, learn their tells when it comes to the attacks. But as I was saying, vibrant, beautiful world. The controls very fluid and smooth once you get those abilities, and the puzzles themselves, for the most part, definitely involve some creativity along the way. And honestly, it works really well with this world, and I found myself enjoying it both for its difficulty as well as the variety of scenes, or the like parts of the stage where in one area you're fighting, one area you're doing puzzles, and so it definitely keeps it from getting too monotonous. And so I think the team did a great job with that. And honestly, this is one I can definitely see myself going back to. I do feel that based on the character designs and the overall look, it's probably meant more for younger audiences. But somebody that's been playing games as long as I have still had a semi-difficult time playing the game. It tells you that maybe it might be a little too hard for some of those younger kids as well. But at the very least, it definitely falls into the category of ones you can play with your kids watching, for sure. But overall, like I said, we enjoyed the game, and definitely want to keep digging deeper and see what else this game has in store. But that's it for this time, and I will catch you and guys all for our next review. Thanks.